Today, of course, we will look at, yes, Commodore 64. And, oh, sorry. It's funny, I went into, there it is, it's quite lovely. I went into the room that I used to film in, and I may film in again. It's got a pool table, but no pool has been played there in a long time. But I hope to remedy that soon. And I really, really thought I'd pretty much exhausted everything. But I went looking underneath the table, and where there are some pets, and sitting beside, sort of between two pet monitors, I found this 64. It's clean, it's mean, it's beautiful. The last time, apparently, I looked at it was August of 2014. And it says it works. 64C, clean, but no sound. Cart works, talks 1541, nice. So, this will probably not take long, but we'll see what we can see about the sound. Maybe there's just no SID chip in there. Maybe it's dead. I don't know. Anyway, we'll turn it on, and hopefully the screen will appear, and it does. So, yes, it is working. So we'll put in the dead test. By the way, the reason I could put in like Choplifter or some other cartridge and hear sound, some sound, sooner. Come on. The dead test is up. But the thing about the dead test that's good is it goes, well, it doesn't go through all four voices. I don't know why. It goes through the three voices, and it goes through them kind of like the scale, so you can tell, because there have been times where I've had SID chips that seem to be okay, but when you run them through the test, they're not okay. There will be parts of the voices that are missing, or the volume may be way down, or something. So that is why I do this. And as it said, it's not working. It probably is not working because it seems that 5 years ago I had a good look at this. But we will wait, and we will see. We shall. And I am suspecting that we'll open this up and see what we can see about the sound chip. But this machine is, well, there's a little bit of tiny bit of dust on the keys. But that's not surprising, it's been sitting for a long time. Okay, funny, I hear a little click, click, click on the sound test. But yeah, it's not happening. So, another working Commodore 64. That's always a good thing. And yes. It has the torque screws. And it has all of them. 1, 2, 3. And then, that's funny, I know this is good to have these little extra clippy things on the side. But I'm always leery about having to sort of pry them open because I don't want to damage the case. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Well, that kind of worked. And that kind of worked. top is off. Yeah, this is a small board version. It is. We'll try and make quick work of this. There are a lot of screws. But really, in the grand scheme of things, there's 3 on the case, 2 on the keyboard. I guess I could have done that better. 2 on the keyboard. Keyboard pulls out. Keyboard comes off. Keyboard sits down. And then I think there are 7 torque screws. This is remarkably clean. Clean and mean. Oops. But there's no way. Alright. There's no way to get at anything without taking off the shield. But of course, that's not a bad thing, because the shield has these wonderful magical fingers that go down, rest on the chips, and help keep them alive. Heat is the enemy. Alright. I don't want to slime anything. I'll just put that carefully. And we'll have a look. Ooh, what's that thing? There's some tape on the board, I don't know why. I will not touch it. So, if you've been watching, I did have a part recently, another machine much like this, and I used it to check out the boards of 2 other boards that looked just like this, that were missing chips. This one the 6510, otherwise known as the 8500, is indeed soldered in. It seems the boards, well, they're not completely the same, because the ones I had, the 8500, which is also the 6510, were not soldered in. They were socketed and they were gone. Alright, so we have a suspicious SID chip out, but it is not, of course, a 6581, even though it is. It's an 8580 R5, but it's not working, or so it seems. So here we have a 6581, made in 1982. So, we'll put the dead test in. I think the dead test is in. Power is in. Video is in. That's in. It's good. We'll crank it up. We shall. So this was made the 12th week of 1987. Okay, the dead test is up. And we are awaiting. We are. Alright, if you've not ever seen this is a T-Pug magazine. This one is from December of 1984, from when I'm recording this 35 years ago. And my brother and I are there on the cover. That's us. In my grandmother's house, where we ran the Bradley Brothers bulletin board system. Which, it's too bad, you know, at the time, there were other boards around that somehow they had multi-line things, and all working as the same. We did not have such networking capabilities. So for each line that we had another system, we had another setup, another modem, another phone line, another disk drive, or more than one disk drive. Alright, so we will wait, and we will listen, because I'm suspecting that this will now sing. And it does. Well, that is good. So, we will take this out. At least we know the machine will do it. I am not at all suspecting that this pencil on the pins is going to do anything at all to make this chip work. I think it's dead, but because things have been sitting for a long time, it's not a bad thing to reseat them, and that means take them out, put them back in. There can be microscopic corrosion, and reseating and using a pencil can clear things up. But I'm under no illusion that this SID chip is going to do anything except nothing. But I will try. Why? Well, SID chips are precious. They just are. So, anyway, back to things here. I was in my pool room, which is where I have filmed for a long time. It's quite populated with all kinds of things, but this may indeed be the last 64 in there. There may be a couple in boxes. I'm not sure. I have to look. I should find one box. It was empty, but it's a nice box, so I'll keep it, of course. I don't remember if there was any more that I have recently found in the garage that I haven't brought in. I know there was a box of stuff, and an Amiga 2500, and other things. I've certainly seen some Big 20s in there, but I'm not doing Big 20s right now. I'm working on sorting out Commodore 64s so that I know what's what, and sticking to one thing. Okay, so soon, this will not make any sound. Soon. But I have not been to the basement yet. Okay. I hear the same clicky noises. So, another defective chip. For the bag. Well, this machine is as advertised. It's pretty, it's lovely, it works, except it has no sound. I'm not going to put a SID chip in it at this moment. I'm going to try very carefully to get this shield on with all of the screws lined up with the holes, which might sound easy. But the last time I tried one of these, it went mostly well, but getting the one on in the very far corner proved difficult, and thus I didn't bother. Okay, so we got 3 out of 4 that are lined up. Oh, and this one too appears to have landed in the hole, and it did. So while I'm here, out. And, oh, one of the other screws is still on there. Remember, snug, but don't reef on it. Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll just stick this one in here. I'm not going to give up on it. It's just, you know, in some of the places. Wait, is that lined up? It's not lined up. Right. I want this to be complete. I suppose another thing I should do is get screws in, but don't tighten them down until you can get all the holes lined up. This one too is trying to be a little difficult. This whole thing of having screws that supposedly stay in the bits is a beautiful thing, but they don't do it. Alright, we're going in. We're not going to tighten it all the way. No, no. It's in a very tight little place here, but it's in. Okay, so now, much like tightening up things in a car, get them secure, go back. And certainly in a car, you do them really tight. On this, just snug. See, with this heatsink on the fingers that go down onto the chips, they're pretty handy. And having it screwed in properly helps. There's a little bit of a springiness to the fingers, and that's a good thing. So. Last time I tried to put one of these on, it wouldn't go. Why? Because I had it backwards. If you ever have not looked at these, it can only really fit one way because there is, and Commodore was pretty good about this, there's, it's a long, you know, bunch of pins, but there is a place that there is no pin, and there is no hole there. So, as much as you try to put it on backwards, it really won't go. Alright, tiny, tiny, tiny. That could have gone better. Alright. Take the top, we find the LED, we plug it in, we line up the case on the sides, we lower it, give it a little squeeze, the fingers take hold. As they say, button it up. And yes, we're going to put them all in. So all we really have to do is update the documentation of sound. Good. Failed. Tested. Not replaced. December 2019. December 2019. And that is that. I will have to go to the basement and look for more machines. Will I find them? I'm sure I will. Thank you for being here. Bye for now. Hello. Thank you for dropping in. This is a copy of the T-Pug magazine from December of 1984. In other words, 35 years ago. And on the front are two young fellows who ran a bulletin board known as the Bradley Brothers Bulletin Board System, or the BBS. They're also very active in T-Pug. Did all kinds of things. Unfortunately, in many organizations, there are people who seek power and control, and eventually they were not so involved because of the power and control issues of others. And the office moved, which was a mistake, and then the office moved, which is probably less of a mistake, but, things were happening. But, the whole Commodore world was changing, and eventually Commodore was no more, but T-Pug still exists. And yes, in a very short time, on December the 7th, 2019, they will be hosting and putting on the World of Commodore show. For more information, Google World of Commodore 2019. It's in Mississauga. It's in a place called the Admiral Inn. It starts at 10 in the morning. I think it's just $10 to get in, and that includes your membership for the year. Anyway, let us look back at the T-Pug magazine from December 1984. This picture was taken in the back bedroom of my mother's house, so my grandmother. And that is where we had our various lines for the Bradley Brothers Bulletin Board System running. And we were also, as you may have guessed, into motorcycles a bit, and there's no evidence of it here, but also basically it was computers, motorcycles, and bowling. So I leave it to you to figure out who is who in this picture. One of them is me. My name is David. One of them is my brother Richard. And some people may know, some people may guess. It's okay. But anyway, 35 years ago, so longer than 35 years ago, we were told to prepare for a picture, and we did. If you look at the picture, there's some pets, of disk drives, there's a great big fan over top of the pile of dual disk drives. And there's another one blowing across. This was, I don't know if it was necessary, but we did that. Of course, heat is the enemy. And these machines were on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for years and years and years and years and years. And I don't remember us ever really having a hardware failure. I do not. In front of the picture is an old television stand that doesn't have a television on it. And anyway, we just had some stuff around, so we put it on because it was kind of like filling up dead space. I am now very much into photography, and basically you have a rectangle, or if you're using a phone, a rectangle, and you should very carefully look at that frame and decide what it is should be there and what it is should not. Now, if you're just out shooting, I mean, if it's quick, you can only do what you can do. But if you're setting up a picture like this, there was not tremendous changes made. Certainly the little cart in front of us we added. And had a Commodore 64, and it looks like Power. No, it's PAL 64. And because there's a sticker on here, I don't remember if there's anything down below. I do not. And yes, you know what? I think it would make sense. Oh, well, maybe not. I don't know. I'm holding a copy of the T-Pug magazine. I don't remember which one it was. But on the back is an ad for the World of Commodore 2. So I'm not sure. I think I held the magazine mostly because it had Christmassy things and Santa and stuff. And my brother... Oh, I guess I just gave things away, didn't I? Anyway, the other fellow in the picture has a joystick in his hand, and he seems to be playing a game. I'm not sure if he was really playing a game or not. I am not sure. And I am talking on supposedly a telephone. Note, if you see, the phone is a dial phone. Which, of course, people today, or young people today, are baffled by. Looking at it, I suppose we could have done a little better with some lighting things. The Canadian flag is, well, I guess it's out of where the typical light for the room would be. It could have been brighter. And maybe if we'd had this lamp on, it would have lit up the poster from one of the previous World of Commodore shows. It might have. And the funny thing is, in this edition that we are on the cover, because we wrote a lot of stuff. Oh, it says, featured on cover are Richard Brownlee, the T-Pug BBS SysOff, and his brother David, newly elected to the T-Pug Board of Directors. Both are well known for their work as T-Pug C64 librarians. Indeed. But if I look through who did what in this episode, I don't think either of us had anything that we wrote for this edition of the magazine. I don't think so. I don't see our name anywhere else except for the cover. I do not. Oh yes. All kinds of things. Funny, there's a message here about Super Pet owners. Reserve your OS 9. T-Pug got involved in a project with the Super Pet. The Super Pet had lots of languages, but T-Pug added another, OS 9, and apparently it was quite the thing. And I suspect now it's very rare. I don't know how many were made. I was not really involved with it. Let's see. Let's look at. This is when the office was still on Avenue Road in Toronto, which was only about a block from where we grew up. It was. So I'm just looking through some of the names. We are. So there are a number of, we're listed here. But I don't think we had any articles in this one. Let me just look towards the back, see if there's any library stuff. But I don't think so. I do not know. Wait a second. What is this? Well, no, I would say this is, there is new additions to the TPUG library, but basically they are directories with tiny, tiny, tiny descriptions. Tiny. I used to write, well, we started doing these list me files, and basically you would load it in and list it, and you could get whatever you could print it if you liked it. It was formatted for 40 columns, of course. And a while later, I had met up with a woman who was an incredible artist, and she eventually got an Amiga. But she had a 64, and it really wasn't going well. I don't know what was not going well, but it wasn't going well. And I'm not sure if she came to a meeting or somehow she got a TPUG disk or such. But anyway, it was, as she told me years later, and I've lost track of her, I have no idea where she is now. But anyway, she told me it was the list me file that really spelled out, you know, this is what you do. And it wasn't like it was anything earth-shattering in the list me file, but for someone who brand new just turns on a computer, they know, you know, nothing. So those things like load, quote, dollar sign, quote, comma, 8, which are just, you know, second nature to we who have been around, or on PET's C-Shift-A, otherwise known as catalog, you know, this is all new and mysterious for the brand new users, just as, you know, you might be a brand new user sitting there saying, I got a Commodore 64, I want to learn. Anyway, apparently, the list me files that I did way back when were what really got her going and gave her the confidence to carry on and keep using this machine and enjoying it. And then eventually, of course, she got into some sort of art stuff on the 64, but then did move to the Amiga 1000 with an easel. And she used to do incredible, I guess now it would be called fan art things from Star Trek. Indeed. Well, 35 years ago. Oh, and here's something. Here's an article by John Easton. Well, John Easton, when I first met him, he looked quite old. And as far as I know, John Easton, 35 years later, still looks much the same as he always did. And he's still involved in TPUG. He'll be at the World of Commodore. And it will be nice to see him again. And now that I am older, 35 years older, and he's 35 years older, and he looked old, and he must be a lot older. Maybe he was younger when I first met him than I thought. But now he must be older. Because I'm older. I am. Oh, here's an article on Commodore. Yep. Here's an ad for the Transactor. A wonderful magazine for quite a while. And there used to be, oh yeah. Here are a list of associate clubs and what their meetings are. Teapot calendar of events. We had a lot of stuff going on. Central chapter, Commodore chapter, 64 chapter, communications chapter, Eastside chapter, Force chapter, hardware chapter, machine language chapter, Super Pet chapter, Big 20 chapter, West Side chapter. Wow. Indeed. Lots of stuff. Anyway, it's funny because it wasn't very long. Oh, by the way, inside you'll see another version of this picture. Oh yeah, there was something. There was a Commodore 64 box down below on the tray or the TV stand. And this picture isn't cropped as much. There was other stuff on the other side of the room. Anyway, it's funny because it wasn't long, and I don't know why. But in terms of back issues in the office, there were none of these. Maybe they were. I really didn't get any except what, mine. And of course, I never had mine mailed because why bother? I was right there. Anyway, so thank you for sitting through this sort of trip down memory lane. I will be at the World of Commodore. Is that going to stand there? I'll be at the World of Commodore. I don't think my brother will be able to be there because he has other things going on. But you never know, you know. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes. Bye for now.